American diplomat Robert Anders is a name that might not ring a bell, but now a whole new generation is learning about his story through the movie Argo. Tate Donovan plays him, one of 6 Americans trapped in Iran after it becomes embroiled in the epic 444-day hostage crisis. Now, the plot is straight from a Hollywood movie script, which is probably what drew Ben Affleck to the project in the first place. Anders was in Toronto recently talking about his experience of hiding out in Iran and the plot that eventually led his release. Here's our interview.
And Bob Anders, oldest of the group and most likely to be group leader.
It's going to take a miracle to get them out.
Robert Anders, thank you for joining us. I want to start with this. You have 5 kids and 7 grandchildren. Right. How do you explain to them what happened?
Telling them it was part of the job that I had. It's an interesting and exciting career, so this was one of the things I did.
To Robert Anders, this may have been just one of the things he did, but to the world it was an unbelievable drama. An escape from the U.S. Embassy taken over by Iranian protesters. Then, almost 3 months in hiding at the residence of Canadian Ambassador Ken Taylor. It became routine, your daily life. You would have dinner, you would play cards. But the other side of that story is there was always the threat that if you were found, you would be captured and you would be killed.
There was always the idea, the threat in the back of your mind that, we might be discovered and, no telling what would happen.
The predicament was enough to fuel the imagination of Ben Affleck. His latest movie, Argo, focuses on Anders' escape from Iran along with 5 other Americans. The plot, the stuff of spy movies, a fake Canadian passport, an elaborate alibi. In this case, Rob Anders was a Canadian filmmaker who, along with his crew, was using Iran as a backdrop for a sci-fi flick.
What's your job on the movie?
Producer.
Associate producer. What was the last movie you produced?
High and Dry.
Who paid for that?
CFTC.
What's your middle name? What's your middle name? What's your middle name?
Leon?
Shoot him. He's an American spy.
First, the airport scene. What was that like?
Well, of course, the airport scene in the movie, but that was pretty exciting. But actually, as I said earlier, I mean, our escape cover plan was so well organized to every detail that it just went off quite smoothly.
You had no doubt for a second.
I had no doubt. I had full confidence that it was going to work, really.
These cover identities were created specifically for each one of you.
When you were finally able to get out, you were on the plane, you had taken off, you celebrated. What were your thoughts about your colleagues that you had left behind?
Well, we felt, of course, great sympathy for their situation. We didn't know exactly how bad it was, and they didn't have all the details.
Is there one moment that you keep reliving in your mind from that ordeal?
We're talking to Bruce Langan in the Foreign Ministry, and he said he couldn't use that phone anymore, that we were on our own, good luck.
You'll never forget being told you're on your own,
Absolutely,
figure it out.
Right.
And you guys did.
We did.
Thank you so much, Robert Anders.